but I guess this is Thanos, and it's not easy to really damage him. Welcome to Resin Reviews. Today we'll be talking about half-scale Thanos bust from Legends in 3D line of Diamond Select. Let's look at the box right away. So it's a pretty standard box for, all the boxes from the Legends in 3D line is similar to each other anyway. So we have the image of the bust in front, and on the side it simply says Legends in 3D. On the back there is the logo and the credits, and at the top there is the Avengers Endgame logo. The dimensions of the box are, it's around 14.5 inches tall, which is around 36.5 centimeters. It's 26.5 centimeters deep, which is around 10.5 inches, and its width is around 30 centimeters, which is around 12 inches or 1 foot. That's the box. Let's look at the statue itself. So I think it's one of the better statues from this line, from Diamond Select's Legends in 3D line, and it's sculpted by Rocco Tartamella with a design by Joe Allard as usual, and as usual to this line anyway. Let's look at the dimensions. The statue itself is around 31.5 centimeters tall, which is a little over 12 inches. Its shoulder to shoulder width is around 22.5 centimeters, which is a little under 9 inches, and its depth is around 20 centimeters, which is 8 inches. It's actually, I think it is the heaviest bust from the Legends in 3D line. But let's forget about scale one more time, because, well, this isn't just up to scale. The Thanos' head isn't this big, so the head here is around 11 centimeters, which is 22 centimeters. If this was half scale, the Thanos' head would be much smaller than my head. So that's just not true. But we're not buying these statues, these busts, for their accuracy and scale. We're buying them because they're very compact and very well detailed, and they have a great price point. And design is really good. The skin tone, I think this is a much better skin tone for Thanos himself, because if you're a purist like I am and really like the comics, and this is the exact skin color that he has in the comics, but it's a little on the purple side if you're going to compare it to the movie, which it is actually, but I like it. And there is a lot of battle damage around the around his armor, which I also like. And it's very movie accurate apart from the skin tone, and his face is great. It has all the little details of Thanos' face, all the, his chin, the little lines on his chin, and some continuation of those lines on his cheeks, and not any battle damage at all. But other than that, I mean, you would expect him to have some battle damage on his face as well after such a, because the armor itself is pretty battle damaged. but I guess this is Thanos, and it's not easy to really damage him. Paint job is really good, because it's also supposed to be a battle damaged bust. It's really easy to hide all the paint imperfections, because you don't know I mean, if it's a battle damage or a paint imperfection at all. There are some marks around here, but you can just chalk that up to the battle damage. The gold paint on the armor is really nice. It would have been better if it was a bit shinier, but then again, his face wouldn't look as good if we had it would take attention away from the face if the armor was shinier. So there's that. Base is basically his throne in the movie, on both Infinity War and Endgame. The throne itself has a little shading as well. It's primarily a stone color, very dark, and with some gray shading on top of it. It's a really nice throne, but I think for the sake of the bust itself, I think it's a little bit too big. I mean, it lifts the bust, above all the other Legends in 3D busts, and which I understand why they did it, because it's Thanos, but I think there is a disproportion going on here, because if it lifts the busts up so high, well, he's basically too tall, and if he sat a little lower on the bust, for instance, if it started here instead of here, I think this would be a much better proportionate piece, and it would be it would actually look much bigger, because they put him so high, the bust actually displays smaller than it is, but it's not. It's actually bigger than the Iron Giant bust, which we also reviewed. He's looking slightly left, as with most of these busts. He's looking somewhere, and I think it's a nice dynamic to have in a bust, especially on a small price point like this. By the way, I keep saying small price point, but this is actually around 200 euros, and this also makes that price also makes this bust probably the most expensive of this line, Legends in 3D line. And it says number 55 of 1,000. So if you are a fan of Thanos as he was depicted on Infinity War and Endgame, and what you want is accuracy, this is the thing to get. As I said, my only gripe with it is that they made the base too big and the bust sits too high on the statue. But if that doesn't bother you, it's a great bust to have. Alright, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.